I'm Jasmine Ellis, and I currently reside in Atlanta with my husband. However, I grew up in the Norfolk Public School System and graduated from Norfolk High, and I was Miss Nebraska Teen USA in 2013 and Miss Nebraska USA in 2017. You can only imagine how many schools I've spoken at and kids I've reached to let them know their value. And I'll start with a statement that I do not hate anyone in this room. I can't tell you how much I've worked with people in the modeling industry for my modeling career that identify as gay or lesbian or trans, and I love them. They're amazing people. I just don't support what they're believing. And in fact, I'm on vacation visiting my family, and I'm at a school board meeting. So I'll preface that I'm not attacking you personally. Please hear me. I love everyone because you were created by God, and you are valuable to Him. I love the people, I just hate the lie. So what's happening is called spiritual warfare. It's good versus evil. You're called the Board of Education, but the education of what? Don't let it be deception and lies. And why do I say that? Because people can't choose their gender. The Bible says God created them male and female, and that you're made in the image of God. How amazing. Sex is wonderful because it was God's idea to be shared between one man and one woman in covenantal marriage. But Satan always perverts what God creates. And I'm bringing the spiritual side of this because if you're voting for this, I know you haven't checked the Bible and what God says about it. God doesn't make mistakes. He made you your gender for a reason. And if you refute that, you're elevating your thoughts above God's, and you're in essence calling yourself God. Truth sounds like hate to people who hate the truth, and the truth is the Bible. So don't get offended or mad at me. I didn't write the Bible. I'm just the messenger. So the downfall of every society is sexual immorality. We've seen that, it's proven. Sex is to be protected and guarded and valued, and that's why we take rape and sexual abuse cases so seriously. It's because sex isn't just physical, but also joins people spiritually. The Bible says in the last days that people will call good evil and evil good. That evil men and false teachers will become worse and worse, deceiving many because they themselves have been deceived by Satan. That they will turn away from Christ and become eager followers of teachers with double-inspired ideas. These teachers will tell lies with straight faces and do it so often that their consciences don't even bother them. The Bible says there's going to come a time when people won't listen to truth, but will go around looking for teachers who tell them what they want to hear. They won't listen to what the Bible says, but will follow their own misguided ideas. That's straight from the Bible. The sad thing is this isn't complicated. It's basic biology, male and female, and to whom much is given, much is required, and you're on a leadership position. So to a kid struggling with gender identity lies, it's the same as an alcoholic struggling with a drinking problem. You don't keep handing them drinks knowing it will harm them. And that's what is happening by encouraging and supporting these lies. Because when God is taken out of something, it creates a void, and evil is going to fill it. When you disobey God's law, it causes sexual confusion, illegitimate children, abortion, STDs, sexual perversion, addictions to pornography. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And I'm standing for kids that can't fight for themselves, for kids who aren't spiritually mature enough to understand the spiritual implications of all of this. My ties to this community are in the past, so I do feel free to speak my thoughts on this, as my livelihood doesn't depend on if people like my opinions. But I have spoken at countless schools and looked into the eyes of thousands of kids who are looking into my eyes, looking for solid direction from trusted adults. I've invested so much pouring into this next generation. They need teachers to teach them and not to deceive them. So don't elevate your ideas over God's, because I promise you that that will lead to destruction for you and these kids. This isn't political, it's not cultural or societal, it's spiritual. And so if you don't like what I'm saying, the great thing is you don't have to answer me. You'll stand before God one day and answer for every decision you make, including your vote on this. The Bible says that a man would be far better off being thrown into the sea with a huge rock tied around his neck than facing the punishment in store for those who harm these little children's souls. So I think twice about your vote, because the blood of kids' futures are on your hands with the sins they get entangled with the confusion, identity crisis, and sexual promiscuity. If you're not on God's side, you're on the devil's side, and God's backing you up with His word. So be careful how you cast your vote, because you'll get to take it up with God.